Hello, hello. Welcome once again to another edition of Quoth the Raven, Lewis Bright Raven. I'm your host, Lewis Bright Raven, 33-year veteran comics creator, publisher, editor, and journalist. And it is Tuesday night. That means it is time for Crowdfunding Indie Talk. As always, my guest at this time, my co-host, colorful kid, Christopher Hall, and JD Calderon is our special guest this evening.
Hey, hello.
How you doing, guys? Nice to meet you guys.
Nice to meet you too as well. Again, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Well, I mean, JD and I have talked, but we haven't really been on a podcast together before.
Okay.
So there's that. But it's good to see you. We're going to be having an interesting time tonight. Main reason that JD is on tonight is because I was going through the Kickstarters earlier today, and I came across an interesting project that he wrote a number of years back, and that would be the Tenchi Muyo.
Tenchi Muyo.
Muyo, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to present. It'll get there. Here we are. And you're doing pretty well so far. You just see they just had another pledge on there. We're doing pretty good there. 35,458 out of a possible pledge, wanting to get 50,000 with 320 backers. Got plenty of time to go. They just started a couple of days ago. Go ahead and give us a little bit of a feedback on that, JD, what that's about.
All right. So Tenchi Muyo is a title that I wrote in the 90s, right? So, just like yourself, Lewis, I've been in the business for a while. I started my first publishing company in 92. Been self-publishing ever since. But during that period, I picked up some professional work, and this was part of it. So I worked for a company called Central Park Media for a while, and that translated over to this job, which was for Pioneer Animation or P-Anime. And I had never heard of Tenchi Muyo, but the artist they contracted, my friend Matt Lunsford, he's a guy whose artwork you can see there. He was like, look, man, they want you. And I was like, okay, because they saw the other work that we had done together. So I was all right. So we jumped in. They gave me 12 videotapes. It was VHS tapes. Sat down, watched 24 episodes in 2 days of this anime, and it was great anime. They asked me to submit 2 plots, or as many plots as I wanted. I submitted 2 plots. They picked one, which is this one, Ryo Oki's Day, and I wrote it. They published the 6 issues, and unfortunately, the Pioneer, the person who came up with the deal ran off with a bunch of their money.
Oh no.
Yeah, ran over a bunch of their money. And because they wanted to contract us to do another 18 issues. But because they ran off with the budget, that was the end of the project. So that was it. The only thing I ever felt bad about the project was, my only regret was that we never got a trade paperback out of it. It was probably a year or two before trades become really ubiquitous within the industry, right? And so here we are, 28 years later. And we have a hardcover omnibus put together by Armiger Entertainment. Those are the guys who actually put the deal together. I'm the writer on it. Matt Lunch was the artist on it. When I saw they were getting this together, they had contacted me and we worked the deal out. So we're helping them out. We're doing signed books. Matt is going to be doing remarks on a certain number of books. We're going to be signing a bunch of books, and that's it, man. It's a hardcover. They have a soft cover available. And yeah, if you're not familiar with the anime, and this is all based on Tenchi Universe, because that's the only thing that I'd ever seen. The 24, I believe it's 24 episodes of the series, and the guys really enjoyed what we did, and there it is. I mean, it was just a lot of fun to do. So.
Okay. Hold on a second. I gotta turn my Facebook page off. It's driving me with all these stupid notices that aren't notices. Okay.
This looks really familiar. Like I know I've seen this before.
Yeah,
Back in the 90s. Yeah.
Hello there, Tenchi fans.
Let's go ahead and see
Patria Burchard here, the voice of Ryoko, with an exciting announcement. Armature Entertainment is launching a Kickstarter campaign to reintroduce the 1997 Tenchi Muyo comics to readers old and new. For those unaware, Tenchi Muyo started out as an OVA series or direct-to-video release in Japan in 1992. From there, it became popular the world over for its mixing of sci-fi, comedy, romance, and, of course, zany adventures. When it became popular in America, these comics were made to try to appeal directly to American comic fans. This release, Tenchi Muyo, the American Tenchi Continuity Omnibus Edition, combines all 6 issues of the storyline Ryo Oki's Day, created by artist Matt Lunsford and writer J.D. Calderon, into one complete collection. This story features all of your favorite Tenchi characters, including Ryoko, of course, but also Mihoshi's dedicated partner Kiyone, as well as Nagi, Kenoki, and a myriad of other characters, all drawn in a style that's both a throwback and a fresh take on Tenchi Muyo as it used to be. Want to know the really cool part? If this campaign is successful enough, Armature Entertainment can continue the adventures of the Tenchi gang. But now, that's up to you. You know, the carnival comes and goes. Well, it's finally back. So, don't miss it. Thank you all for supporting Armature Entertainment and Tenchi Muyo. Until next time.
Yeah, that's awesome that you guys got the voice actors to do it.
Oh, that was all done.
Yeah, and also, do you have any idea what might be? Are you gonna if they do get the money to go forward? Are you gonna be able to do that? Are you gonna be committed to writing that, or is that something you talked about yet?
We haven't spoken about it yet because we just it's still in its nascent stage. Like they got this deal, right? And we don't know what's going to happen in the future, so we just don't know. So but I'm open to it, but it's all depends on what the guys want to do, what the guys from Armature want to do. So we'll see. I'm definitely open to it. I don't know. Matthew would definitely be up for something, but I just don't know what. The time frame is crazy, so it just depends on what that's going to be like. But I would definitely be open to doing some stuff because there were questions about this story as some of the backgrounds of some of the characters, and I was like, well, I could flesh some of those out if they wanted. I can do a whole new adventure, all kinds of stuff. So, but yeah, it would definitely be a lot of fun. And like I said, Tenchi Muyo, I mean, they've done several series on the character, so and this is supposed to be like the American version of it, right? So it's going to be like its own little pocket universe. And a lot of it, I think a portion of it is based on the stuff that I had done because there's 5 original characters Matt and I created, that I created. He illustrated or based from his designs, and they're just brand new. So we have that in the universe. So and it's an open field, but we got to get through this campaign first, which I think we will. I think everything's going to go fine with this one.
Oh yeah, I think it's going pretty well. I mean, you're over 2/3 of the way there, and you've only been on for 4 days. I mean, I think
this was huge back in the 90s, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Is this the one with like Tenchi is the high school student, and there's like a love interest between the two women, right? Fighting over him.
It's basically a love triangle. So you have the space pirate Ryoko, and she's like this mega badass. She can shoot laser beams. She has laser swords. She has like super strength. She has all these crazy powers. And then you have Ayeka, who's the space princess, and she has I guess the guardians who are on her side, so she can summon like these magical tree things, and they have their own powers and abilities that allow her to do a bunch of crazy things. And then along with Ryoko comes Ryo-Oki, and Ryo-Oki is the Cabot.
Right.
And what he does is he transforms into her spaceship. Okay, so the little rabbit thing transforms into a spaceship. And what's funny is what I didn't know, and I just wrote it in. They said when I put it in the story, I wrote Cabot, and they said it's the first time it's ever been used in any of the Tenchi material that they called it a Cabot.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so they were like, okay, so I was all right.
So
I guess
you've actually contributed some significant elements to this series overall.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, because the thing is, I was like, let's put in as much stuff as we can, and I knew it as a Cabot, so I was like, all right, let's call it a Cabot. So I was just having fun. The other thing that I had done was they already had intergalactic police, so I interjected intergalactic postal service. Right.
That's awesome.
So it was just like why not? So yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, you got to see some. And here's the thing: like these comics, right? Like this is from my personal stash, right? These are the 6 issues. These books, like I wasn't, it's stuff that I wrote years ago, and I didn't think anything of it, but. I think a set of 6 like this, all 6 issues are running for like $200 on eBay.
Yeah.
So it's like, this will give relief to some of those people who can actually now get it for an affordable price. Or reasonable.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The actual average is between 180 and 215, depending on the quality of the grading or whatever. For the singles.
And I remember now my roommate in art school was a huge fan of this anime. And so he made me sit down and watch it with him. That's where I remember it from.
His roommate made him watch everything anime, everything cartoons. It's like he wouldn't know what anime was if he didn't have that roommate, I swear.
Yeah, I mean, I was a fan of the classics, the classic movies, but yeah, he introduced me to a lot of stuff. So
gotcha.
But
okay, as long as you got there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, so I mean, these are just the reward tiers, but I was just saying, it's like as long as you got there with the anime, watch it. There's a lot of good stuff out there.
So he was a huge Naruto fan, huge.
So we're talking about $30 plus shipping for the
trade paperback,
and that's going to be about what 180 to 200 page book here. We're talking.
I think it's about 188, 186 pages.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then the hardcover was 60 plus shipping. And of course, with a hardcover, you're talking about a slipcase probably as well.
I don't think they're doing a slipcase, but they are doing but it's a hard case with the smooth laminate on the cover. Yeah. Okay,
laminate on the cover. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of them they do the slipcase covers these days, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a signed paperback. Okay. There's only 250 of those.
Right. There's a paperback patron, which I think you get your name in the book printed in the back. Yeah, there's 25 of those.
Yeah, there's only going to be 25 of them. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Signed hardcover.
Right.
Which would be signed by both you and Matt.
Yep. We'll be signing those.
The hardcover remark. Yeah, this is pretty good overall.
Yeah. And the Space Pirate Elite I already know is sold out.
Okay.
Yeah, the top tier is already sold out. The signed hardcover remark I think is about halfway sold out. So yeah. So those are closing in on being sold out completely.
Yeah, let's take a look real quick. Let's see, name in the book. There's 23 left of the first basic patron of getting your name in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. There's half of them, like you say, for the hardcover edition.
Right.
Half of the signed cover remark are left.
Right.
And then say all gone for the Pirate Elite. So
yeah. So
Now I have to ask. Forgive my density here. What's a remark cover? Like,
A
what is
remark.
that exactly? Yeah,
The
what
remark
exactly?
is basically, it's like a small, like the artist will sign the book, but they'll also do a small, like a small sketch. So it's usually a small head sketch or something along those lines. I'm pretty sure you've seen, some famous. You see Jim Lee, and it's like $400,
Right.
$500 for him to do a little, Wolverine
Yeah.
head or something. Yeah, you know. So yeah.
Okay, that makes sense now. I always wondered what the heck that was.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, you've seen me do it myself with my Wingman book, Chris.
I was having a dense moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking for an actual copy of the Wingman stuff, but I don't have one remark on it right by me, so that's why I stepped away for a second there. But no, yeah, those are good. You got a sticker sheet as well as an add-on.
Yeah.
Is Matt looking to do any commission pieces as well?
I don't know just yet. Like, I know he's not doing anything through the campaign just yet, just the remarks.
Mhm.
The one thing we're discussing is a lot of people are asking, can they request the character on the remark?
Mhm.
I haven't got an answer from Matt yet, but Matt is pretty amiable. I'm pretty sure I'm like 90% sure 90% of them will be Ryoko. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you for doing this and showing projected shipping rates.
All right.
This is very informative for folks who are always trying to understand why things cost so much.
Just
in
need
our
to jump
out. And this is, based on weight and everything. And of course, I don't know if this was done before or after the tariffs, but
I was going to ask, this is affected by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But,
well, it does say projected. So
right.
Yeah.
It does. But what we're saying though is, people don't always understand why things cost so much more this way.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And when we can actually show them what it is, what it's costing us and everything based on what we're being told we have to charge, it's a lot for people to make a conscientious decision as a consumer.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I would love to see these guys work with you and continue the series.
Yeah, it would be fun. It would definitely be fun.
Yeah.
So, is this? I forgot. Is this the first anime series you've worked on, or what have you worked on before this?
Well, I have my own project. Well, the stuff I was doing through Central Park Media, I did. It was an adult comic. It was something called La Blue Girl. So
I'm familiar.
Right. I did. All right, because Matt was the artist on that. Right. All right, I'll just tell you the story about this. So I remember we were young. We were like 23. I don't know how old we were. We were young, but we were at Disney World. Yeah, because it is. I'm the opposite of young now. So we were at Disney World on vacation. It was myself, my wife Daphne, and Matthew, and a couple other friends. And Matt had said to us, he was like, I have a line on this job. He says, but it's for adult comics. And I just remember standing there and just looking at him like, oh my God, don't even talk to me. Like, how dare you even mention that in my presence? And then about 6 months later, he comes to me and he's like, listen, man, they're looking for a writer. And I was like, you know what? Throw my name in the hat. So I go in. It was the funniest thing. It was like being interviewed for any job. They had read the work that Matt and I had done prior, which was a book called Dreamweavers, which I had just done. I'm in the process of what is that? Just like redoing, like relettering and like reformatting or whatever, and re-releasing, redoing in color and all this nonsense. But that's a whole other thing. But they saw that work that we had done. They liked it. And they said, you guys are a good team. You guys, know each other and, you gel well. So they said, go ahead and write it. So I wrote it I wrote from issue 3 to 12 of La Blue Girl because the first 2 issues are based on the OAVs or the OVAs.
OVAs.
That they released. And they were just like, make a new story after this. And I was just like, sure. I was just like, okay, let's do this. And I just wrote something brand new for them.
Yeah.
For that.
Most people these days know JD for the Oswald Chronicles.
Yeah, the Oswald Chronicles, Tall Tales, Dreamweavers, Magi's Grace. Those are the 4 things that I got my fingers in. But during the process of doing La Blue Girl, the editor our original editor that had hired us had left the project.
Oh, of course.
And then, but she had cut this deal with Pioneer, and she said, "Look, do you guys want to do Tenchi Muyo?" And we were like, okay. And then we ended up doing both series at the same time. There was supposed to be other stuff. El Hazard never came out. 1 issue of Phantom Quest Corps came out, and that was about it. Before, like I said, the person ran off with all that cash, and they were just like, all right, well, this is it for that.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, it's funny how even stuff like La Blue Girl can lead to other projects.
Yeah. And
go ahead.
Oh, and those books now sell for $30, $40, $50 an issue.
I believe it. Yeah. And I myself, at least find that a lot of the adult projects like pay really well. Like those people have money.
They do.
So.
They really do. Yeah. Although Tenchi did pay better than La Blue Girl.
Okay.
But yeah, Tenchi did pay better than La Blue Girl. But La Blue Girl did pay well. So it was like, I can't even.
No complaints.
Yeah, no complaints.
Right. Yeah. Especially, like I said, I was a kid. I had a choice. I could either go flip a burger or I could write porn comics. And I was like, let's go do the porn.
Yeah, why not, right? Like, you get to write comics. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is.
and the funniest thing about it is people who have read it, I had one editor and she was like, and mind you, I had two female editors on the book, right? So so it was like I had to figure out what an areola was and cunnilingus, and I refused to use any bad words, so they were all clinical words for whatever there was some form of act being done, because both of my editors were ladies, and I was just like, I'm not gonna work my way around this, but I was like, okay. So but one of my editors, she came up to me and she was towards the end of her tenure, she was like, keep doing what you're doing. And I was like, for years, I was just like, what? And I guess what it was that I made the lead character a hero, right? And she won. And she wasn't like some, wilting lily, and I was like, look, I'll be honest with you. I was like, her name is on the title of the book. She was going to win. It's like writing Superman. It's like, he's going to win eventually. He might lose for a couple issues, but he's going to win eventually.
Right. So that's cool that you turned it into something more than just the tentacled rape monster of the week,
Right. Yeah. No, it wasn't that. What's funny is I haven't read it in years. I don't even know what I did in it. So yeah, I just remember her telling me that. I was like, okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but then we got called on to doing Tenchi, and we did that, and that was, like I said, it was a lot of fun. It was just a shame because they wanted us to do another 18 issues.
Did that ever get translated into Japanese, or was it just
this series? I don't think so. I know it was featured on at least one Blu-ray set. So they had the Blu-ray and they had the comic book on there.
Okay.
And I think they also might have done it for a Laserdisc. But as far as I know, that's all that ever came of it. And then, like I said, the guys from Armature, I had in 2020, I had seen a podcast that one of the guys from Armature had done with his group, and it was like some kind of Tenchi podcast. And they were there was like 6 of them, and they were reviewing the comics, and they were talking about it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I wrote to them. I said, oh yeah, I'm still around, blah, blah, blah. So is the artist. If you want to ever talk, let me know. So they interviewed us, And I had told them, I said, I'd always wanted to see a reprint of the book. 4 years later or 5 years later, boom, they got the rights. They contacted us. Like I said, we cut a deal. And, here we are, man. And it's been fun.
Well, hopefully this leads to more similar work. That's awesome.
Yeah. I listen, I mean, like I said, I'm the old dog when it comes down to them. It's like
Give the old dog a bone, huh?
Right.
But
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I mean, 85 to 90% of what we've done. Who? What? Where?
Exactly. So I do the Oswald Chronicles. Who are you?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. Even amongst our own peers, though. I mean, in the indie scene, we can get that way because everybody's in their little clique groups and stuff. But okay. JD's got a show in a half hour, so I'm going to let him go ahead and skedaddle on out here so we can get ready for his show at 9:00.
Yes. Thank you.
We want to thank you for coming by, and we're going to go ahead and keep promoting that.
Thank you.
I don't know yet. I know that I'm going to probably get the $30 one.
That's fine.
But
listen,
I don't know. I have to check my budget before I commit.
No, I got you, man. I mean, and listen, guys, like you, I mean, I don't know if you know, but I have my own shows. If you guys ever want to come on, if you're ever doing a Kickstarter or you ever need to promote, I have my Sunday show. I usually have 5 to 6 creators on there with me.
Yeah.
I have watched it. I don't get the notifications for some reason. So.
Oh yeah. But if you ever want to come on, just shoot me a DM, man. The door is open. I mean, and I mean that for any creator. Like the door is always open. There's not a big barrier to entry when it comes down to
that. And there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. It's comics, guys. And the whole point is to promote the medium.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Right, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you having on.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on.
Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
Have
a good night, guys.
Bye. Night. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go back to this real quick. Like I say, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. Even though the Kickstarter address is in the description of this video. There it is as well.
Got it in the comments. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm probably going to get the basic one, just a trade myself, but I got to check my budget. And of course, if you can't afford a 30, you want to just get a digital PDF. That's 15. That might be more Chris's speed anyway, because he doesn't like to he likes his stuff quick and dirty, so to speak.
Right. Yes. I just don't have. I don't have the physical space for a physical book right now.
I know that. I was just not cutting up with you. You know that.
I know.
But yeah. So yeah. And of course, as with most Kickstarters, if you just want to be give an honorary $1 pledge just to help them out, you can do that too. But yeah, this is gonna be cool. Check that out.
If I remember correctly, I think my roommate had it in like Japanese, like it was subtitled.
Mm-hmm.
The anime of it. So
yeah,
that's how big of a fan he was. He would like get it shipped from Japan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, speaking of Kickstarter, we're gonna do a couple more Kickstarters that we're gonna talk about, but there is a little bit of news for those who may not have heard. Don Simpson had done a Megaton Man project that he was going to do through Kickstarter, and originally Kickstarter had rejected it on the grounds that one of the contributing artists was from Iran. And there was a little bit of a kerfluffle over that because some people thought it was about the
like racial
or political or whatever. And so now that has been officially reversed, and the campaign is ongoing now. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna show the the article from Bleeding Cool. But I have talked to Don, and Don will hopefully be on next week to talk a little bit more about that as extended. But okay, this is a graphic anthology, Megaton Man, multi-mentions. It was canceled because 4 pages had been drawn by the Iranian cartoonist, and it was breaching certain rules regarding Kickstarter and Iran. It's themed quite the overreaction, and Don was upset, and of course they did have a lot of people contact Kickstarter over this, and they reviewed it, and they agreed that that was wrong. They reconsidered and reversed the decision. And the campaign is now live.
So good on Kickstarter.
Yes. And that's coming from Cosmic Lion Productions. I've reviewed some stuff from them before. If you remember, I can't remember the name of the book right now. Termite Mound is from Cosmic Lion. So good company. Kickstarter's response was to Eli, who was the head of Cosmic Lion. We thank you for raising concerns that encourage us to revisit our initial call. After further review, we are able to approve. We would never decline a project based on a creator's heritage. As a U.S.-based address, Kickstarter is required to comply with U.S. trade restrictions, including sanctions that restrict business activity in certain countries, including Iran. As such, your project was originally flagged for those reasons, prohibited under those trade restrictions, and rejected on that basis. But after further review, we are able to approve your project. We apologize for the situation and best of luck in your endeavor. Now, this is a 216-page book, and I want to talk a little bit more about the what those trade sanctions are, because a lot of people are thinking it's Trumpian or something. It goes much further back than that. It goes back to it actually goes back to 1996 under the Clinton administration.
Desert Storm.
Yes, and there's been variations throughout the different presidencies. The most recent one was 2014 under Obama. And basically what Kickstarter's situation is any type of print merchandise that is supposed to be coming or originating out of Iran is suspect to be rejection. And because I don't know how this particular book, because it had a single Iranian artist, got flagged for that. Maybe there was a mention of him being from Iran in the description or something. I haven't seen the actual campaign to confirm that or not. But that's what my investigation so far has led me to conclude is why it was rejected initially. It has to do with those 2014 sanctions. And I'm kind of wondering about it because I'm going to do some more investigating into this and talk about it a little bit more next week because I want to look at their track record with other books from Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, that whole region in comics and see what they aren't bringing in from there. Because if they've got a track record that's consistent, then I understand why they did it. But if there's not a consistent track record to their policy, then there's something that needs to be revisited with Kickstarter on that front.
Right. It seems to me like somebody might have raised a stink.
Yeah, I think somebody.
If that's how it was brought to their attention, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that tends to be what happens. Is some idiot makes a dumb comment that doesn't need to be made, and then things go haywire. But no, I do think, however, because this is not just affecting Don's work, this has potential to affect a lot of different creators moving forward from the Middle Eastern region or Kickstarter as a whole. This affects European market because there's a lot of Middle Eastern artists who work in European comics. This could be a recurring problem. And we want to make sure that if there's an actual policy in conjunction with those sanctions, then we should be aware of it as publishers so that we know how to be aware of how to operate with that. and if it isn't appropriate at Kickstarter for those reasons, is it appropriate at other platforms for crowdfunding, whether it be Indiegogo or Zoop or Fund My Comic or whatever? We need to know exactly what that's about. So that's what I'm going to be doing a little more research on. Hopefully get some answers for you guys on that next week. But that's the kind of the update on that situation. And again, we're hopefully going to have either Tuesday or Thursday next week. We'll have Don on to talk more about the project itself. Okay.
Right. It seems to me, just guessing, that it probably had to do with something about Iranian, books from that area, maybe possibly having propaganda in it or something like that.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
Yeah, that is the policy, yes. But part of the sanctions policies, yes. But the thing is, it's kind of weird, because if the writer is published in America, okay, then it's an American publisher and it's not susceptible to those sanctions. Okay?
Just weird.
Well, it isn't. Well, because that's what we're saying. That's what I'm saying. I got to check the policies and see what they've been publishing and not allowing from different parts, because how does Kickstarter work in those countries? And
right.
other things play into this. That's why I have to do a little more. I have to dig a little bit deeper into this, and it might be a week or two before I can get some answers. But we're going to look into it. And credit to Rich Johnston and others who have been covering this situation as well. They may not go in that angle that I'm looking at it at. That's not their fault. Keep in mind, they're doing a lot more other stuff that they're covering in a wider breadth than I am. I want to do that specifically in conjunction to relation to crowdfunding as a whole, because I don't want this to become a situation where it recurs. That's all.
Right.
Okay. So that's what we did on that. We got two more books to review, or campaigns, I should say, to review. We got Dan Brereton's new Nocturnals art book. It's already well surpassed its goal, as you can see.
And climbing.
Uh-huh.
And climbing.
And climbing. As you can see, I've backed it already. Because it is Dan Brereton. I love the Nocturnals. Let's see a quick look at the video.
Late in 1994, Nocturnals #1 hit the comic shops. I'd like to think it was fairly unique, especially at the time. There wasn't really a subgenre of monster noir in comics. Not yet, anyway. Nocturnals was inspired by a love of pulp magazine fiction, hard-boiled crime, weird tales. I wanted to tell stories set in the criminal and supernatural underworlds. I also wanted to draw monsters with guns, spooky femme fatales, haunted toys, and scary creatures coming out of the darkness. Stories strongly rooted in the comics I was reading in the 70s. A melting pot of horror, crime, Dashiell Hammett, H.P. Lovecraft, mixed in with a lifelong obsession with Halloween. It was the comic book I would want to read, a story I could get lost in. I've been caught up in their world ever since. In light of the recent collaborations with Dark Horse, where we're reaching an even wider audience, including a miniseries coming this fall, it seemed fitting to celebrate 31 years with this art book, a kind of Halloween anniversary. Thank you for supporting Nocturnals 31.
of course, there's a lot of cool stuff here. Take a look. I just love watching him watercolor paint.
Right? Very cool.
Yeah, he's an amazing guy. One of my, I consider him one of the more underrated artists in the industry right now. I gave a selection to the art book signed, limited to 1,000 editions. This will not be at the LCS or Amazon. There will be in a version later on, no doubt, of this that will be out in stores, but it will not be signed and numbered. You can get a digital PDF for $20. This is with an art portfolio separate, also signed for $100 that you can get. There's only 175 limited quantity. They got 127 left. You can get a sketch from him for $215. It's a 6x8 hand-drawn original sketch, along with the signed book and signed portfolio. Sketch, of course, is his choice, but it's Dan. He's going to give you good stuff.
Right, right.
There's a watercolor sketch, which is like, wow,
Yeah, that's really cool. I didn't realize it was watercolor. I thought maybe it was gouache or something.
Nope, it's all watercolor. So it's quite stuff. And then there was an early bird special. If you're one of the first 31 backers, you would get a whole bunch of extra stuff that I didn't necessarily need because I already have it. But it's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
So lots of cool items to have. There's process galleries, so you don't actually watch the level of stuff he works in. I wish I could figure out how he does some of the painting he does. Some of the stuff he does is in gouache, I think, but a lot of the stuff he does is in color, watercolor too. So it's like I like watching him do both.
If I remember correctly, gouache can be used as watercolor, though, can it? If thinned out enough, if I remember correctly.
I'm not a painter, to be honest. Yeah, you can use gouache as watercolor.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So yeah, I've never been good at painting. I took like 2 painting classes in college and I sucked. I was not happy. I can't say I take it back. I didn't suck, because if I sucked, they wouldn't have bought them. I was
right.
Them
right.
And pay me good money for them. But I was not happy with the work myself.
Well, most artists aren't happy with their own work. But these are gorgeous.
Yeah.
These are just stunningly gorgeous.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with this.
And watercolors is something that I've always strove to emulate or to try and emulate in my work, and I can never get it right. Like I just can't get it there to where I'm like, this is something I would want to put out in the world.
Have you ever colored with colored pencils?
Yes.
Okay, you know how to do the shading with the tones, right?
Right.
Now watercolor over the pencils. You might get the effects you want. Or you do your watercolors as your base and then color over them with the watercolor pencils.
That's not bad. Yeah. Okay. Never thought of that.
That might be something for you to experiment with, but you have to do it traditionally. You can't do it on your computer. I'm sorry.
But I found a great program, and it's called Rebel. And oh my gosh, is it
of course
fantastic?
I'm going to rebel because I'm a rebellion.
But this program, it's fantastic. So if you're a digital colorist, yeah, I would recommend checking it out.
We'll talk about techniques and tools on another show, but yeah, we'll have to do that actually when we have a live draw. We'll talk about techniques and tools.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
but let's look at this really gorgeous process piece here with the girls from Nocturnals. You know, Eve in the foreground, and then what is it? Polychrome. I couldn't think of her name. I was like, it's not chromosome. But and then of course the gun witch in the back with the hat there and the gun rifle. I'm not sure who's behind the gun witch in the top left corner there. I don't necessarily recognize him necessarily, but he's always got new characters coming up. There's another process up close. Oh, okay, that's like the winged harpy girl. Okay, and then that looks kind of like one of his werewolf characters. Okay, yeah, this looks cool.
That is incredibly cool.
And then polychrome in that black dress. Yum.
Right.
Oh man. Of course, the plates you get 7 11 by 14 art plates with an envelope colored, illustrated full color envelope in a classic 1970s print style. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those sets that they used to make, but that's an awesome idea. I just couldn't afford it, so I just stick with the limited. But yeah, that's awesome. All new cover illustrations for the Sinister Path miniseries. This is good stuff. Let's see. There's the portfolio cover. There's one of the portfolios. Sneak previews. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Nice.
if you haven't gotten in on this, highly, highly recommended.
Yeah, definitely. If you want X-Men with monsters and mixed with crime noir, this is your series. That's the best way I can describe Nocturnals is X-Men if they were monsters in a 1930s crime noir feel. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can get your original art rewards, sketches, quick sketches like these, which really aren't quick sketches, but they, they're just well done.
Depends on your idea of quick.
Yeah. I mean, when you watch him do these things, I mean, he can do it quick, but it's like, it's really not because he's really honed in on to make it that fast.
Right. Yep.
If you're not in your mind, focused on that to do it a certain way, it can take a long time just to do those. Yeah, and you can get all the different back books that have already been published: Children of the Night, Fatum Fatale, The Black Planet, The Autumn Kind, By the Blade, all those cool books that have already been out there to get your physical, complete Daniel Brereton library. I just happen to have most of these already. And I don't have all of them, but I have most of them. So it's like, it's awesome. Mm-hmm. Awesome stuff to get. So, and I guess, and there's other books that are separate from these that have the same material that I have. So that's one of the reasons why I don't have all of these, because I got the other versions that were printed that had the same content. So,
right.
As much as I love him at the cost of the books, I can't afford them all. But again, I did back this one for $50 for the, which one was it here? The original one, I believe. Yes. It's actually $40. It's $10 with the shipping. So, but yeah, that's the limited edition assigned. So that's what I'm getting for there. Again, that's the address for Dan Brereton's New Nocturnals art book number 31. 120 pages. Love that stuff. Make sure you check that out. Again, the link is also in the description of this video. And closing out our reviews tonight is something that I thought might be of interest to you, Chris. called Not Yet. Comic book project. It's a comic book series full of sci-fi, body horror, and family drama. And Chris likes his body horror. I don't know why, but he just does. I said body horror, Chris.
Right.
So this is actually just surpassed its 5,000 goal. We're in like less than a little over 24 hours left to go. So this one's almost done, folks. You need to back it right now. Do you want to? Now, I love the description. A new comic series full of sci-fi, body horror, and family drama. Fun for all ages, besides children.
Yeah, the artwork looks gorgeous on this. I don't know what the story is, but
We're going to get to that in just a second.
I would probably buy it just on the artwork alone.
This is a thrilling family story set in the snowy Pacific Northwest with two brothers, one with a peculiar set of time travel powers, work to solve crimes and keep their town safe. But what responsibility does one have when you can change everything? What happens when you stop someone from dying, but that creates an avalanche effect of crime and murder? What toll do secrets and powers take on an entire family? These are the questions and themes explored in the series, as well as time travel, body horror, and lots of beautifully drawn blood. This is actually, they're seeking to commission the artwork for issues 2 and 3 and print as many as they can. They've already got number 1 in the can. The money will be going to printing issue number 1 and then getting 2 and 3 in the can. So this is kind of an interesting thing. I look at it as kind of a weird time-traveling John Constantine, so to speak. They're talking about the creators. The artist is from Brazil. His name's Vitor Verde. And here's some more of the interior artwork.
Very, very nicely done.
Yeah, and they're going to print their book on cardstock paper, so it's higher end quality paper. They're going to sell the book online via Golden Apple Comics out of Los Angeles, and physical copies will be available in stores around Los Angeles and Chicago as well. So you're going to do that as well as market the book through and ship through Kickstarter as well. So there is going to be a physical presence in the market a little bit to start with, and then if they can get the Los Angeles and Chicago areas to sell well, they might be able to go get it expanded into an actual mass market edition. So let's see what they want. Well, their books. Digital copy is only $6. That's not bad.
Not bad at all.
The physical copy is $12, which is pretty standard for these days. The signed copy is $20. With Digital Deluxe, which gives you all the scenes of the script, the pencils and inks, and the stages of coloring. So it's all the process in addition to the finished comic on a PDF. Okay. That's $30, which is not unreasonable.
No, not at all.
Your digital copies, where you get 1, 2, and 3 would be 50 combined. Okay, interesting. But they're not ready yet, so you get them when they were ready, as well as your number 1. And then you can get a they will film a cameo or write a handwritten letter of love and send it to anyone you want. Perfect for birthdays, anniversaries, or funerals for $100. Okay, I don't know. I don't know who this person is that's died, but we just want to say a few words. We're sorry you're gone, whoever you are. Oh, Lord. But hey, it's different anyway. I would love to see an actual, when they do a graphic novel, I would love to see them put the whole thing together as one big package with all the digital original pencils and inks, all the stages, and a whole big book. But I haven't backed this one yet, and I think what I'm going to do is probably just get the physical copy number 1 right now. But I'm going to talk to Corey before I make a commitment. Corey is the writer and backer, so, or person running the campaign. So I'm going to go ahead and check with him on that before I commit for certain. But what do you think, Chris?
I think it looks really cool. Do you know Corey, or is it just
okay? No? These are all 3 of these I just discovered today. So, because I would have done it yesterday, but for people who don't know, I had a Windows update kerfluffle. I don't know what it was like. What the hell's going on? I had to like reboot my whole computer, a bunch of mess. But anyway, it's straightened out now. So anywho, yeah, I didn't get to do my my manga for the week, and I was almost afraid we weren't going to get this one done. So there's that as well. So, but that is that one, and let me go ahead and see if I can get this there. And again, all of these books have been set up for your Kickstarter links in the description of this video. But if you want to take another one, here's another one. There you go. And now, for the nobody watching at home, we've had people coming in and out all throughout the show. It's just that at this particular moment, nobody's watching. I got a cool thing in the mail yesterday. It is from Benjamin Morse. I'm not going to give his address. So I don't want to show you his address from the label, but for those who might remember him, he does We Are Scarlet Twilight and August Purgatory Underground. Let's see if I can get this thing open. Let's start. He's got so much tape on this thing. I'm like, are you not wanting me to get my book out of the package today?
He wants it safe.
Yes, he definitely wants it safe. He wants it so safe, I'm going to have to use the X-Acto blade. Oh, no. There we go. Now we got it started. Let's see what goodies we have in here today. There we go. It's open. Da, 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 da. The reveal. In a nice Gemini folder. Countdown to the Cobalt Crisis. This is
Nice.
the Twilight series. He's got them taped in here, so I'm going to have a hell of a time getting them out. That's okay. Anything to keep them safe, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Surprised there's no bubble wrap.
Oh, he taped them good and shut that they didn't need the bubble wrap. But there's two versions in here. This is issue number 0, featuring Captain Lancet, and I got 2 different versions.
Very nice.
So it'll have Captain Lancet, Ace Falcon, the Red Roadster, and more. So we'll review those next week on the show, or either next week Tuesday or next week Thursday. And speaking of Thursday, boy, oh boy, do we have a busy week this week, don't we, Chris?
Yes, we do, sir. So much to review.
Oh gosh, yes. What are we reviewing? I'm not sure. I know we got some of these that we're reviewing. Let's take a look. If it's going to do what it's supposed to. I'm not sure. There it is. No, that's a Chrome tab on a window. There we go. We're reviewing Shutter number 21 from Warrant Publishing, E-Junkie, the graphic novel collection from Scout Comics, The Secret of the Ravens, original graphic novel from Clarion Books, Usagi Yojimbo, 10,000 Plums, number 2 of 5 from Dark Horse and Dogu Publishing, Joe Frankenstein Parts 1 and 2 from Graham Nolan, Compass Comics, The Ghost of Matacune Key number 1 from, again, Graham Nolan, Compass Comics, The Space Between from Boom Studios. And we got more than that, folks. Lots
Yes. We got Buried Long Ago.
Yeah, Buried Long Ago.
We got Moonshine Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
We have The Hive and Arkham Horror, The Terror at the End of Time.
Yes. So as you can see, we've got a lot to talk about this Thursday. And so we're going to be quite the busy boys the next 24 hours. And that's just the stuff we know we're reviewing. There's other stuff coming out this week. Are we going to have time?
I'm not sure.
I mean, we got Martian Manhunter number 2 this week that's coming out. We've got Green Lantern Dark number 4 that comes out this week, or I think it's number 4. We've got, let's see, let me check real quick, because it's a huge list. Come here, you little silly thing. Okay, we got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 2. We got the Green Lantern Dark number 4. We got Bug Wars number 3. That's okay. We've got Minor Arcana number 6. We got Epitaphs from the Abyss number 10. Like I said, it just keeps going and going.
Might have to push some of those forward.
Yeah, I think we will. And Arcana Royale number 1. So those are the ones that are coming out officially this week that I know we're supposed to be reviewing. And then John, our third not our third wheel, we love him, but you know, he's out this week. He's busy with his theatrical work. So we'll get to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Saturday Morning Adventures and Metamorpho Element Man number 5 when he returns. But I don't know. I think there's a Venom book that he wants to talk about too. But he usually does want to talk about Venom, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
So yeah, we've got a lot this upcoming week here, and if we don't get into that, we'll just carry over into next. So, you know, always got cool stuff talk about. And let's see, Friday. Well, Chris spoke last week. We're going to stick with Marvel for another week. And since John's going to be out of the office again. So he's craving him some Kraven the Hunter. We're going to watch Kraven the Hunter, and we're going to review that.
I just love me some Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Now, are you trying to channel Paul Lynde or Billy Tucci?
I'll leave that up to you guys to decide.
Okay, yeah. So that is on Friday, and so we will thank you for watching the show. We'll see you next time. If you have questions or comments, check us out at Lewis.BrightRaven on Facebook and X, also known as the Muskrat Channel at Quoth Raven L. At L Lewis Brightrave 2. There we go. I'm going down the list too fast in my mind here. DeviantArt.com, Bright Raven is my channel. DeviantArt.com, Batboy73.
Yes.
Is Chris's. I'm gonna have to change that and get that on there, maybe a little bit, or get you a page of your own anyway.
Yeah.
Quoth Raven, Lewis Bright Raven is the YouTube channel you've been watching. We thank you for watching as always. If you have questions, quothravenlbr@72gmail.com. And if you don't get me on that one, try Lewis Bright Raven at yahoo.com. And Chris is at Christopher M. Is that spelled right, Chris?
Nope, I spelt my own dang email wrong. there should be an E there.
Yes. Okay. Christopher M. Hall, 1973 at gmail.com. For Chris, we want to thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time. Quoth the Raven. Nevermore.
Nevermore.